Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Indieheads podcast. I'm your host, Matty, aka Recon AG. On this week's podcast, we have.
I'm Alex, also known as I should be on a cooler podcast tonight.
Fuck off.
Will?
Yeah.
You awake?
User Will for Thrill.
Who up? It's real podcast hours. Welcome to the Indieheads podcast, everyone. This is our first one in like 2 weeks, I think. We did that album commentary, but like we haven't done a podcast in 2 weeks because like we've been busy and whatnot. We had finals week, so I think almost everyone in at least the majority of the podcast cast is in college right now.
I had to do a semester's worth of homework.
Oh yeah, I had easy finals week actually. Like my final stuff was actually pretty easy. Luckily, next year I'm not sure.
Ultimately it was my fault.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, but like. I kind of knew this would happen once the teacher announced that she wouldn't be checking anything until the end instead of checking it periodically.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of like my ADHD, like there was no way I was ever gonna motivate myself to do it. But I got it done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sort of. I got half of it done, and the teacher gave me 100 anyway, and I got an A in the class.
All right. Save it for the late night, Alex. Jesus, this is a music podcast. We have to discuss music on this music podcast.
I'm sorry. I got the news today, and I'm just so floored.
We shouldn't even do the late night now because you already got all the. We already shot all the shit.
Okay. Anyway, let's get on to what we listened to this week. I'll start off. So I've been listening to a couple albums this week. Two in particular I want to talk about. The first one is Lil Ugly Mane, Oblivion Access. Okay, I'm just gonna geek out so much because I absolutely love Lil Ugly Mane. He is one of my favorite artists of all time. And this Oblivion Access, it's his first album his first official album in like 3 years. He's released a number of EPs and singles and a series called Third Sided Tape, which he put out the third side of it this year, which is awesome. And he's put out just tons of he's put out tons of Lucy's since his debut. Well, not really his debut. It's like his second album, Mr. Thug Isolation. And this album is everything I expected and more. Well, I'm not sure if that's the case, but it's everything I expected. I'm basically just paraphrasing someone I saw on Indieheads who posted a reply to my comment. I've given this a couple of listens, and I still don't entirely know what to make of it in some ways. It's a very interesting album because it's unlike his last album, Mr. Thug Isolation, but it's very similar to some of the stuff he was throwing at us on Third Side of Tape, which I think you listened to, Will?
I listened to it once.
Okay, then you can't really say much about it.
I listened to Mr. Thug Isolation once and Oblivion Access once, so I'm kind of an expert.
Oh yeah. I'll take the reins. Don't worry, Will. And Oblivion Access.
I mean, I'm an expert, so I can.
Without listening to any of his music, I can say that all of it sucks. With
Shut
confidence.
up. Okay, Alex. Again, his name. Mr. Thug Isolation is very much. It's sort of a tribute to.
Oh my god! I have listened to some of his music.
You have?
Yeah, I just realized.
Did you like it?
Single or EP? Yeah, it was. Yeah, it did. It was like it had a 10-minute long song on it or something.
Was it Uneven Compromise or was it Weeping Worm?
I think it was Uneven Compromise. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Sorry.
Anyways, Oblivion Access. It's by far his most. It's not his most experimental. I still think Third Side of Tape is his most experimental release. But in terms of like his more traditional stuff, like this is more like Third Side Tape was basically a compilation album, and this is like a full complete album, and it's very experimental. It's very noisy. There's tons of like noise sections throughout the album, whether it be just instrumentals at the end of songs or just songs themselves or just noise. And
what did you start with again? Like I remember what noise effect was that? I remember the first track is just like a noise effect.
On Mr. Thug Isolation, the first track. Are we talking about this album?
No, yeah, this one. I remember it's like. What is it?
Ejaculated Poison Wrench.
Yeah, what was the sound? Like, I remember the top track was just a sound effect. Like, wasn't actually a song, per se.
I don't remember. Again, even though I've listened to this a bunch of times, I still have not made
heads. I know the sound better than you, so why are you talking? Oh my gosh.
I know that enough. I just don't remember everything about it, Will, okay? Because there's a lot of stuff happening with this album, okay? And I haven't been able to listen to it that much today because I had to listen to fucking Art Angels and Divers, which Divers isn't in mine, but it was sort of just like, we'll talk about it later.
Divers is absolute trash.
It's
Let
not
me
trash.
just go on.
It's not trash, but it goes over my head like someone trying to throw a trash can at me.
I wanna take the opposite viewpoint that I had on the Lost podcast episode. Just
See, like now we're just meandering. We were talking about the Mr. Lil Ugly Mane. Now you're trying to make it about something else.
Okay. Anyways, Boy Access. I was anticipating this album a lot, and I was kind of like, yeah, this album is gonna fuck up my year-end list, and it did because right now I would probably put it somewhere in my top 10, possibly top 5 of my year. Right now, I still want to give it a bunch more listens. I still think I'm missing some stuff, but there's a lot of really interesting stuff happening. You have the noise sections. You have Lil Ugly Mane, where he's kind of dropping more of the Memphis influence he had on Mr. Thug Isolation. He's kind of doing more traditional stuff. The lyrics are very depressing. It's just like these really interesting images, and it's like very horrific. And also there's sections where like he has like a computer voice and whatnot going on, like a Microsoft Sam type shit. That's like going on like a paragraph about stuff, and it's like, what the fuck is this album? It's really an anomaly, and I love it for that. That it's just like, I mean, if you expected, Mr. Thug Isolation 2, you're in for a shit show, because this is not it. This is probably the best experimental rap release this year by a decent margin. Possibly my second favorite hip hop album this year, behind Kendrick. I can definitely say that. But yeah, this album, if you like experimental rap, this album is definitely worth a listen. And if you like Lil Ugly Mane, of course, this album's worth a listen. I've been following this guy for a few years now, and I just love him. And this is the last album he's doing, and it makes me really sad because he's great, and I don't want to see him go.
Is it though? Hasn't
okay,
most of his discography come after his quote unquote retirement?
That is true, but I think this album, it's basically, I'm assuming it's going to be his last official album as Lil Ugly Mane. I think he's still going to drop after this he's dropping some like Lucy's and whatnot from this album, like remixes and just B-sides and whatnot, but like this is probably going to be his last release as like Lil Ugly Mane, like officially. Like it's his last studio album pretty much. Like anything after we're going to hear is basically just Lucy's and compilations and whatnot. But yeah, this album, it is fantastic. I still need to give it a bunch more listens, but yeah, it's great. Of course, I'm talking about one of my favorite albums this year. I'm going to talk about my second least favorite album this year, which I've been talking with a girl on Tinder, and she mentioned that she was going to a concert by this artist, and I'm like, okay, I'll check her out, just, common courtesy. Melanie Martinez, Crybaby. This album is okay. The Kid Cudi album, it's the worst album of the year because it is aggressively terrible. Like it's just terrible all the way through. Just really bad guitar riffs. I mean, if you listen to the album commentary, you already know how I feel about it.
I think I remember seeing the album cover for this album and just thinking no and blocking it out.
Yeah, that's appropriate. It is the most aggressively mediocre album I've listened to this year. Track after track is just mediocre.
Besides
mediocre.
Currents, that is.
Besides what?
Besides Currents.
No, Currents is not aggressively mediocre. Currents has good songs. It has high points. I like some songs.
What?
Shut up, Will. Jesus Christ. I like a lot. I like some songs that Currents like. I love What Had Happened. I love The Less I Know the Better, despite the fact that it has those terrible lyrics. Just that bass line is so good. It's like that.
The best bassist of the 21st century.
Am I gonna have to be the Currents contrarian on this episode?
No, I'm not. Don't worry, we won't discuss it. Will brought that. Will, this is your fault. You brought it up. Okay. Anyways, Melanie Martinez, Crybaby. Oh my god, it's just like, it's so mediocre. It's completely forgettable, which is why I don't know why I'm talking about it, because I forget it. But it's just like, it went out one year and then it like left the other. It's just like 45 minutes or however long it was, just completely wasted listening to this album. It was nothing. It was just nothing. It has this weird concept. The most interesting thing about it is its concept, which is sort of it's circus music pretty much. But that's not
that
good.
That sounds like a terrible concept.
It is a terrible concept. It doesn't work at all. Yeah. It's like, I mean, it works in the fact like, oh, it does sound like circus music, but that's bad. I don't want this to sound like circus music, because circus music is fucking terrible.
My name is Blurryface, and I care what you think.
Shut up. Stop.
And other great pop music concepts from this year.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting Blurryface was a fucking concept album. I haven't even listened to it yet. I need to. I really do. If
I've
I'm
never-
gonna
I've
hate
never
21
listened to
Pilots,
21
I gotta have
Pilots.
some valid reasons behind it.
Yeah.
Actually, I've never even listened to a 21 Pilot song. I don't think.
I listened to car radio. The first time I listened to car radio was on my college radio station like this summer, and I was at a stop sign, like I was at a stoplight, and I was just laughing in my car, just completely just laughing at how terrible it was. He's got this voice. It's like it's like so whiny, and the production is like so like mediocre, and it's like, oh my god, it's so corny and bad. Why? Like,
Well,
you guys
well,
don't play... Like, this is the rap you guys are going to play on this station? Really? At least they have Kendrick Lamar on there, so that's cool. They have
Kendrick's on that album?
What?
Kendrick's on that album?
No. God, no. Oh, God.
Oh.
No, I'm just saying, I'm on my college radio station. We have Kendrick Lamar in our library. We have I in our library.
Okay.
Anyways, back to Melanie Martinez, Crybaby. Actually, not back to it, because it's really mediocre and really forgettable. And it's just like it's Lana Del Rey plus clown music, and nuh-uh. I think I appreciate the fact that she went for like a really interesting concept on our debut, which that's a big risk to take, is to go for something kind of that conceptual and kind of it's seen as risky, but it didn't really pay off, as it's really bad.
She has at least one fan in your
No, she has tons of
Tumblr
fans,
girl.
dude. She's Tumblrcore to a T. She's mega Tumblrcore.
Around the time, I don't even remember which album it was. It was during Halsey. Like I went on like a rabbit hole of YouTube where of like white girls unpackaging like really bad Tumblrcore vinyl packages and doing reviews of like the packaging and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the albums.
Yeah, no, this is Tumblrcore, and because of that, not all Tumblrcore is bad, but a lot of it's kind of bland, and this is especially bland. So yeah, that's about.
You need to look this one guy up. He was like a gay Big Quint. He was my favorite by far.
Big Quint is the only person who should do reaction videos. He's the only
not
Big Quint. Big Quint and H3H3 Productions. Those two can do reaction videos. Everyone else get it off of YouTube. You don't.
Gay Big Quint also needs to be.
Was it funny? Videos. I never watched Gay Big Quint. I'll have to. Okay. Anyways, I'm done talking about shit.
We'll put a link down in the YouTube description box.
No, just put it in the chat.
No, the people. I'm trying to get this guy followers. We need to have him as a guest on our podcast.
Anyways, Alex, what you listen to?
Okay, this week I listened to the deafening torture of hearing every person on this planet talk about The Force Awakens.
Will, what'd you listen to this week?
About Star Wars. And the sweet sound of that dank kush. Will?
Dude, okay, can we talk about? I mean, I understand this is. Can we talk? I have not seen Force Awakens yet. I'm seeing it on Monday, and I'm so excited. But I've already seen. I haven't
seen it yet either. Like, what's there to talk? None of us have seen it.
I know I haven't seen it, but I just want to say I'm excited to see it.
So we have 3 people who have not seen the film, and we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, let's go.
Can we talk? Yeah. I did see episode 4 through 6 for the first time over the past like 3 days.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah. I've seen bits and pieces as a kid, like because you just know the story, because the story gets completely spoiled. Like for you as a kid, you just hear about all the stuff. So like everything was completely.
It's pop culture lore.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like, a universal American childhood pastime.
Yeah.
That was like there's this video of me when it was my brother's 5th birthday, so I would have been 3.5, and my parents were interviewing us. And then, like, I was just, like, this rambling, it was just, like, incoherent, and you'd hear Star Wars toys in there. That's, like, the only words you can understand me saying.
Okay, anyways, we should probably...
TBT.
Okay, well, what'd you listen to this week?
All right, this week, some albums I listened to. The first one is Pusha T, The Darkest Before the Dawn, the prequel to King Push.
Ugh.
I love how all of that is in the title. And
it's like King
iTunes.
Push, Darkest Before the Dawn, the prequel. That's the name of the album.
That's the best. That makes me so
talking about
happy.
the L. Ron Hubbard of the cupboard.
Have either of y'all listened to this album yet?
I've been meaning to.
I really liked the intro. However, I can't really talk about it because I listened to it while I was in the shower, so it was like, I couldn't even properly hear it.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought the intro was really good. Other than
Yeah,
that,
I thought that.
I wasn't like too blown away. The only time Pusha really like blows me away with his solo stuff, or so far, is when he's on like an experimental Kanye beat. Like,
Yeah,
you know, numbers
I'm
on the
taking
board.
Iggy's lunch money.
buzz.
Ugh.
Take
Lunch Money is so good. Like
No,
those tracks though, they're some of my favorite hip hop tracks, period. Like it's just I don't know, it just doesn't really come together for me with the rest of his solo stuff. I do like clips though. I like
I like My
clips.
Name Is My Name, but the second half was definitely like the middle of the album is like the middle of the album is really where you have to like prove yourself. Like you gotta like because you could have a great intro, like a great like introduction section, and you can have a great ending section, but the middle is like you gotta get that middle because the middle is the toughest part of making a great album. Is like you gotta get the middle right. And Pusha didn't really do that because like there's like 3 tracks that are just like I think one of them was like oh this track's just kind of meh. Then he has like a really out of place track with Kelly Rowland, and it's like oh. And then he has this track that starts off great, and then Big Sean and 2 Chainz come in with really awful verses
that's the last track I think.
of the album.
Yeah, My Name Is. I feel like
No,
it
it's
is.
not.
So,
The last track is like
no, you're right.
is
That's track 9.
yeah the last track is Snitch with the Pharrell.
Yeah, that's a good track.
Anyways, talk about this album. Well,
Yeah, yes, this album, Dark Before Dawn. This album kind of well, it's probably like one of the. He did not progress as an artist at all on this album. Like it sounds pretty much exactly like My Name Is My Name as far as I'm concerned. Like his flow,
That's kind of Pusha's
coke
thing
bars.
though.
Yeah, but the style
Pusha T is the same artist he has been since he first
like
arrived on the
2002.
scene.
No,
You know,
but the
and
thing is that. But my thing is that
he's so good at that. He's like the National, you know, like but
Yeah.
hip hop.
True. Yeah, no, but I think it's like that's the artist I don't have a problem with. Like if he did not change a single thing his entire career, I'd be because I don't come to him for hard hitting truth bombs or social commentary or experimental beats. Like I come to him for just some hard beats with some that riding bass, then some fun bars about dealing coke. I mean, that's pretty much all there is to Pusha, and it's okay, you know.
mm-hmm.
I don't have much to say about his stuff. It goes hard. I mean, there's a few. Untouchable. That's still one of my favorite rap singles of the year for sure. Crutches, Crosses, Caskets is good. Money, Pussy, Alcohol with Kanye West on that hook. Money, Pussy, Alcohol. And let's see. Keep Dealing is good. I mean, like I said, I've listened to it, I think, about 2.5 times ish. But yeah, I mean, it's an album that I'll play in the car for the next few months until King Push drops.
Oh, I'm very hyped for King Push. I need to listen to this because like I like My Name Is My Name a decent amount. Like
I'm really hoping he comes through with another like experimental track like Lunch Money or Numbers on the Boards.
I saw someone on Twitter describe him like I really hope on this next album Pusha T doesn't just rap over a bunch of beats that sound like a washing machine.
But things that like I like, even though they all like
those are his best tracks though. The ones where he sounds like he's rapping over Numbers on the Board.
That's
oh
great,
my
though.
god,
that's why people like shoegaze.
The thing is like I enjoy every track on this album. Is the thing. Like, I mean, like even though he doesn't experiment at all, and even though it is sort of samey, I still enjoy it all. And it's only 33 minutes, too, so it's not like grating or hard to get through. You know, just a.
It's also not. It's a prequel. It's more of just like, hey, here's something to tide you guys over until my album comes out.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like that did exactly that. I mean, I'm gonna be playing this in the car for the next few months for sure, because that's where he sounds the best. Is in that kind of with the bass, and everything. That's the best environment to listen.
Make sure
to.
you have a brick of cocaine with you in your car that sell to people.
True.
Definitely.
That makes the most enjoyable listening.
It vibrates.
Yeah, that's the ideal way to listen to Pusha T.
Oh, don't sell cocaine though. Cocaine is really bad, and also you'll get arrested for drug possession. And,
unless you listen to Pusha, then they'll understand. It's like, oh shit, okay, I got.
And
boy.
Pusha T in his music, he doesn't always make it completely clear, but he definitely is not trying to promote drug use or drug selling or anything like that. Or is he? I don't know.
It's hard to tell. In some of the clips earlier work, like Malice comes through kind of being all like, man, I wish we didn't have to push blow, but it's kind of fun. But Pusha has always been kind of like you know,
I mean, he's heavy
he
on
could
dope.
go either way. He seems to love it, but I don't know if he intellectually likes it, you know? Like
It makes him
he
feel
likes the game.
alive. It gives him a
Yeah.
rush. Oh
Oh,
god.
stop.
Well, please tell
And
me
also
something.
my favorite line like of the year is like Mike Bond with the edge, fuck Donald and his pledge. Just lines like that. It's like that's why I love Pusha. Just like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Also, I was surprised to hear like I don't know, it felt like the yucks felt absent on this album to me. I didn't notice them as much.
See,
But then
I wasn't thinking, but I mean that's definitely one of the things I'll be focusing on next time I listen to it.
yeah, same.
I'll be like, "Ugh." All right, then my next album I've been listening to. This is actually one I talked about on our Lost Divers podcast.
Oh yeah.
But I haven't stopped listening to it since. So yeah, Queens of the Stone Age, like Clockwork, and just in general, I've been listening to a lot of like stoner rock and stoner metal lately. Black Sabbath, Electric Wizard, Caius, and yeah, and of course Queens of the Stone Age. And I just started listening to them, but I've been listening to. I've gone really hard into Queens of the Stone Age, but like Clockwork is still my favorite album by them yet. By a decent amount too, just because it's really their most. I mean, things that they all. I mean, if you've never listened to Queens of Stone Age, they're all about that really heavy guitar distortion and those really repetitive riffs over and over. But this one has a lot more variation on it because it has two piano ballads, and Josh Homme really does a great job on those. And it's more varied. And then, yeah, I'm not doing this at all right now. Anyways,
I can tell.
Yeah, no, yeah, this is because none of you are giving me assists.
Sorry, I was doing something. I don't listen
Yeah.
to the Stone Age, so I can't
Yeah.
really help. You're
the
on
thing,
your own.
thing is, you
buddy.
actually should because that's actually LP's favorite
Yeah.
band.
Oh.
Like he tweets about them all the time.
I kind of failed you there because I did talk about it when we talked about it on the podcast
Yeah, dude.
last
Like
time.
I was, no, dude, that podcast was just so. Can we press F to pay respects for that podcast real quick?
Seriously, that was one of our best podcasts.
Way better than this one so far. Way better. Significant. No, but the thing is that this one just like.
Fuck you, Will.
Okay,
This is great so far, okay, man? It's great. It's just a hater,
I
okay?
think I lost my headache. I think I'm back now. Okay, so yeah, this album. That's a Queen's reference.
I like our podcast.
It fucking sucks. I hate it. I hate all of you. I don't know why I'm still doing it.
Okay, now I'm back. Okay, so this
You
like all the
sounded
other
way
albums.
more serious than I would have wanted you to.
I'm a very good actor, I say.
Okay.
Okay, are we ready? Are we back?
I'm so
Are we
sorry,
back?
Will. Keep
Queens of the Stone
talking.
Age.
Okay, now I'm back. Okay, so this album, like all their albums, it has a lot of guests. I mean, we got Dave Grohl on drums, we got Trent Reznor, you got Joey Castillo and Nick Olveri, and Mark Langland from their other releases. In you got Alex Turner, Elton John. That's just the beginning. So I mean, it has a lot of help, and then it just came through with the best. Besides Swans, I think this is my favorite rock album of the decade so far. Just because, I mean, just 10 really concise tracks with a lot more diversity than ever in their discography, and it just, I mean, yeah, I'm not back, but this is a good album. Listen to it.
It's
Okay.
a great cock rock.
Yeah, like no, I'm tripping right now.
Okay,
Let's move on.
let's get into our main topic tonight, which is we're going to be we're doing another album catch-up, but our last album catch-up, we actually talked about like 7 albums, and we originally were going to do like 4, and then we cut it down to 3, and then we cut it down to 2.
Wait, what was the fourth one?
We were going to talk about A New Place to Drown by R.C. Marshall,
yeah.
but no one listened to that, so we're like, okay, I'll take it out. And then we put Agent
Why
Intellect
did
up
you
okay.
put it on a schedule if you haven't listened to it?
I could talk about the Agent Intellect.
Yeah, we were going to talk about Agent Intellect, and I kind of realized no one really, like, you didn't have positive things to say about it, and I didn't have much to say, and Will didn't want to say much about it either, so we're like, okay, let's just talk about the two albums that we can Well, I can't really talk about Divers, but you guys can talk about it like crazy.
Let's
It
talk
was
about
just kind of a boring album. I thought, like, the Agent
Intellect.
Intellect. Yeah, I don't know. It was like I kind of want to talk about it now because I was so disappointed.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say. I mean, it's definitely like all
yeah,
the post punk. It's probably my third favorite post punk. Like, you know, you had Viet Cong, which is like in my top. Well, not even my top. It's probably my my number 6 is here because Lil Ugly Mane probably just knocked it down a bit.
I just thought it didn't do anything interesting. It was just like another post-punk record.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just not a big fan of post punk in general. I think it's all kind of samey and just doesn't really do anything that they
Yeah.
haven't been doing since the '70s. Really,
Mhm.
I liked the Odd album because it had some interesting textures
yeah,
and great
I do
guitar
think
sounds,
that
and
one was the
Tim
most.
Darcy is like a great frontman. But the Agent Intellect was just like it was like if you told someone to put on a post-punk album that just sounded like any post-punk album, that would be the album I would put on, or
Mhm.
like
I,
if I
I
was that someone.
things like that's something about post punk in general. Is that like it just sounds like it just isn't very visceral at all to me. It sounds like it's like I can have it on in my headphones at full blast. It still sounds like it's coming from the other room. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
like it just feels so distant and just not. I need up in my face music like Queens of the Stone Age. There, I'm coming back
Yeah.
now, bringing it all back home.
But yeah, I don't have. I mean, I enjoyed it, but like, but yeah, it's definitely like. I mean, I probably would still put it under like Ott and Viet Cong, because I thought those albums were a lot better.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't. Again, let's just get you guys talk about Divers. I don't have like. Here's the thing. I'll just get my thoughts all the way on Divers. It's really dense. Most of it went over my head completely because she's just like.
Yeah.
It's just
I get
it's
that.
like, okay, what the fuck is it? This girl, she's got like this like hi, this like weird voice, and she's got this really dense poetry, and it's like, okay, I can't do
And then-
this. But there's
and then
songs like
the
on, like Leaving
word-
the City, they're like great because like it has this great instrumentation. It's like really building and whatnot. Or hold on,
Implying the rest of the album isn't building.
or something like, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, or some. I think it's like
One
okay,
thing-
I know Leaving the City. I think Times of Sentiment also is really good.
Implying.
Wait, I don't have much to say. I think the album it's good, but like I need like at least 10 more listens to even like slightly get it
Yeah.
because it's dense. So I'll
Oh,
let you
yeah.
guys redo your discussion on it because we lost the episode where you guys talked
Yes.
about it.
All right, yeah, I'll get okay. Joanna
So
Newsom
you do a little intro.
is an
'cause-
American singer-songwriter from Nevada City, California, who is famous for playing chamber folk and freak folk music with with her eccentric vocals on the piano and on playing the harp, and has become one of the most famous harpists in the world. And this is her
Also,
fourth studio
the
album.
only harpist in the world.
Literally, the only person in the world that plays harp is Joanna Newsom. Literally. And I'm glad, and I am glad that Joanna Newsom does play harp because she is one of my favorite singer-songwriters at the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to come out and say that this is my album of the year, number one
Ooh,
of the GOAT year of 2015.
calling it.
She's the goatest of all the goats right now. And this album is just very, like Matty said, it is very dense. But in a way, it's one of her least dense albums to me, musically, just because, like with
Really?
Ease, well, it's dense,
East
but
is so
Okay, how about like this?
light and breezy though.
it's dense, but it's also like really easy to. It was really easy for me to unpack this one compared to Use.
Yeah.
Like this, just because it has more variety, I think. And because the shorter track lengths, you're able to unpack each little track rather than getting a whole 17-minute track.
I'm gonna say the opposite.
Really?
This album
Yeah.
feels way more dense to me than East. It feels like it's got a lot more going on. And part of that is because in a similar way to Pimp a Butterfly, it's written kind of like a novel in that all the songs seem to relate to each other and have concurring themes and imagery and just a general like central idea, and I guess
I'm just going to give an example of her poetry. Like one of my favorite tracks of the year, that is Sapakanikan. And it's based on the famous poem Ozymandias by Percy Shelley. And that poem is about the fading of empires over time. How, like, eventually every empire will fall.
yeah.
And she reframes it look upon ye works in despair. And she reframes that narrative through the Sappaquanican village. That was where New York City was before European settlers came and destroyed it and killed them all. So she's referring to their downfall of their civilization, but also there's the implication that our civilization that we have right now is also going to have that. I mean, whether or not it's tomorrow or 10,000 years from now, like one day there won't be New York City there. And it's also, she's talking about, it also goes with her theme of how throughout the album she kind of talks about how she lived in New York City for the past few years and sort of resented this. She never felt at home in the city. So that also has one of their themes going for it. It also has that really peppy piano part in it, despite being one of the bleaker songs on the record. And then her falsetto at the end there, good lord. That's probably the most, of her entire career, that's probably the most impressive thing she's ever done is that.
Yeah.
And I watched a video of her doing it at Pitchfork Fest back in 2013, and like it sounds the exact same live. Like she just goes in. Like I don't.
Joanna Newsom goes in on every track.
Dude, she does. It's amazing. And then like tracks like "Leaving the City," like are new territory for her because she adds the marxophone and has like that distorted drones all over, and not drones, but.
I really thought that was a shitty keyboard guitar.
Yeah, no.
Not, like a guitar effect on like a Yamaha, like a cheap Yamaha keyboard.
I mean, maybe it's her aesthetic.
I was like, wow. Well, I was so surprised to hear it at first, before I knew what it actually was, because it was like, the rest of the album uses all of these unique, well played instruments, and
I mean that sounds fine to me. It's the first time you've ever heard distortion of any kind in a Joanna Newsom song.
Yeah,
that's new territory for her, and that's what something like Fantano in his review, like he had a positive review, but one thing he said was that like it wasn't really anything new for Joanna, and I completely disagree with him there because, I mean, at their core, I guess she's still the same, but still like, this is her first album. Really like a digestible album, at least in terms of song lengths.
It's hard to criticize her for writing similar things because those things are so intricate. Like
exactly.
Like, actually, I'm not well versed enough in really any famous author, but if Steinbeck writes three books like East of Eden in a row and they aren't really the same. They aren't the same story, and they talk about different things, but they're all in a similar style. You can't criticize him for that because that's going to be like three masterpieces. I don't know. Right. I guess that criticism doesn't feel even remotely valid here in the way that it could be for like a band like Beach House, because what she's doing is so intricate and like meticulously crafted that it's, well,
like I said, for me it's not the same because like
it's not like she didn't try.
Well, things like on the Milk Eyed Mender, it's mostly just her and the harp or the keyboard. It's mostly unaccompanied, and then on Yeast you have mostly the string orchestra arrangements done by Van Dyke Parks, and then on Have One on Me it's mostly kind of solo, but there's some, but it's still he's pretty reserved. And this one's just the most lush album he has because she has a full orchestra with all the strings, but in the woods and the brass, and she has percussion. She has drums on her tracks. She's never really had drums before.
Yeah,
and she has the electronic instruments, going on. And then on Golden Eggs, she's never done a song like that before either. Or like
this album feels like significantly less lonely to me, almost in that way, because of the instrumentation. But like when you listen to East, it's like it's just her. It feels like this lone woman sitting in a barn playing her sad songs, like.
I get. I
But
mean,
this
it still
album
is.
is it's almost theatrical.
But the thing, but there's still songs about loneliness here, like "Leaving the
Yeah, that's
City" and
true. That's
things
true.
I said about "Divers" is a
Yeah,
song about loneliness. About
Divers is pretty depressing.
yeah, no. That's
uh,
like
that's some sad
like
boy music right there.
that's like the like when a rapper said like when Joanna says, "I'm not saying I loved you first, but I loved you best."
Yeah.
Ooh, oh, oh. Anyways, but yeah, no, it has a lot of just new territory for her, and like I said, tracks like "Golden Eggs" and "Walls on the First Lightborn Elite," really interesting tracks to me because they're not country per se, but they have really strong country folk vibes to them.
Yeah.
And they caught me off guard the first time, but they've ended up being two of my favorite tracks here. And
Yeah.
just since then, I've had a hankering for some more of that country music itch, which is nothing I really ever had in my life before.
I really liked the two kind of lo-fi tracks on the album.
Which ones are
The
you talking?
Things I Say and
Same old man.
Same Old Man.
The shorter tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um
those are good songs too. Exactly, and that
like
one's
all the songs are great, but in particular those always really stand out to me whenever I listen to the album.
they're two of the
I
most
guess
solid
it's cuz like
ones.
everything else is so clean and then those are they're like, they don't have the same recording quality and they're also two of the most intimate tracks on the album.
Right.
But that's not to say the rest of the album isn't intimate because it's definitely a really intimate record. But
Yeah, it's very
but
intimate.
especially the Things I Say is like, you know,
Yeah,
like damn, it's like she's whispering in your ear.
yeah, and that one's cool because she's like, now this is we haven't talked about this yet, but this album like one of the biggest themes is the exploration of time
Yeah,
and how it's her in her world. Time doesn't really have a linear beginning and ending.
yeah,
And this one, she found a phrase. She's using metaphor like framing the entire lifetime, but it's in the context of one day.
yeah,
And then, I mean, this track still has some stuff like it has the backward vocals at the end.
yeah. Those I remember those. Um,
And
I feel
then
like we
yeah,
should
same
move on. I
from
don't
this
know.
album.
You guys are talking about stuff, and I'm like, what? That was on the album? Like, you're talking about how there's, like, distortion stuff, and I was like, what? That was on the album?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Because it goes over my head completely. Because, like,
it's
if I even, like, slightly don't pay attention, it's like, what the fuck just happened?
yeah,
so you're
it's
missing out on the goat, Patty.
it's dense. You gotta listen to it more.
I
It's really
know.
worth unpacking. Like I've listened to it many times, and I still feel like I haven't listened to it enough.
Yeah. No, then like the last three tracks on here for me are highlight just because all three of them build up,
Yeah,
especially a Pinlight
yeah.
Bent. That's
There,
one of the biggest. That's one of the most suspenseful tracks of the year because
that
there's no
was one
real
of my early
resolution.
favorites because of it. Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
it
it
just
ever.
builds into the final track. I consider the last three songs to be the same song,
It's a
really, even
suite
though they
kind of.
distinctly aren't.
Yeah, because like the thing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but a Pinlight Bent because she's just kind of building the tension with that really simple two note riff, kind of going back that pattern.
Yeah,
And then time as a symptom comes and you hear with the doves coming coming full
uh,
around full circle
time
with
as a symptom.
anecdotes starting the album with the doves.
Yeah,
She bringing them back, and
and
then
like
yeah, it's so
other
dramatic.
albums. I want to talk about the loop for a second. Other albums do that. Like plenty of records have done that, but the way Joanna does it is in such a
Well, it
unique way.
makes sense
Because
on the album.
yeah, exactly. Because it's not just sort of like this random thing they added in. Like
Yeah,
with
like
the
we talked about
wall.
this
With
on
the
the yeah
wall, it's
we talked
like
about
it
the wall,
kind of works, but
not really.
it's like it's really kind of like at the last minute. Hey, this will probably blow someone's mind, right?
It's like
But
all our fans are really drugged out anyways. Let's get them
yeah,
happy.
yeah, and
Yeah,
then like but with this album, it's like it's a part of the record. It's the way the album is supposed to be. It's not just like with all the themes, it's
the time.
supposed to go back into anecdotes. That's just the
Right.
way the
Yes.
story is supposed to go. It's perfect.
No, yeah. And like I said, I love this track just because of the way it builds. you got because like I said, Penalite Bent was building all that tension,
Yeah.
and then you think maybe here we're gonna get some resolution. Nope, she just makes it even more intense with those really dramatic piano chords. And then about halfway through the track, you get the strings coming in, but the tension still isn't resolved. You know, it just keeps building, 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 and then the drums and the woodwinds come in, and then just that sweet. Oh yeah, oh boy, that sweet release after like 10 minutes of building.
That feeling when some of these songs are written about Andy Samberg, probably.
TFW.
That feeling. I'm not drunk, guys. Don't worry.
Did either of you watch that Larry King interview?
I watched some of it, and I was like, "Oh, so cute!" It's like, "Oh,
No, yeah,
I'm so
yeah.
jealous.
He's an adorable man.
I was gonna watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but I canceled I had a Hulu free trial, but I canceled it before I could have to pay for it. I should have watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Anyways, I don't have much to say about Divers Lair. As I already said, it was very dense. A lot of it went over my head. Her voice is weird. I can't say I dislike it.
Had you not heard East before this?
I have heard Yeast, but I've only heard it like once. I still, again, I just like.
I recommend going back.
If I'm gonna dive into her, I have to like make sure, like, okay, I have to really dive into her. Like, I can't, I can't half-ass it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely worth getting into because I've just gotten into her recently too. But she's already one of my favorite artists, just overall. I mean, I think she's just a master of her craft, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just no. I mean, obviously, like, in terms of heart, nobody does it, but just her style of songwriting and everything is just another level, you know. Another one.
Anyways, let's get into an album that's definitely not as good as Divers.
To start our discussion.
Wow.
I'm
You
sorry.
just started it just like that's the tone we're gonna start it on.
I'm sorry, but I think that the general tone is that
We pretty much agree.
I'm not sure about Will. Will's a wild card. I have no idea what he thinks.
I agree that it's not as good as Divers.
Okay.
I agree on that point.
The one thing I can say with confidence about this album, the one thing that I don't like
The only
think,
thing.
Wait, do we
well,
even say what
maybe
album it
not.
was?
The one thing I can say with confidence about this album is that I really feel like at some point in time, Grimes has unironically called someone a normie. That's the impression I get of this record.
That's the impression you get.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways,
That's the
we should talk.
impression
Okay,
that
anyways,
I
hold on.
get.
Let me fucking do my spiel, Will. Okay, let me do my spiel.
Mighty Boss Tones. Are we gonna do a ska punk podcast sometime?
What? Ska
Ska
podcast?
punk? You never went through a ska punk phase?
No, fuck off. Anyways, Art Angels is the fourth studio album from Grimes, aka Claire Boucher. She is a Canadian singer, songwriter, producer, artist, a bunch of other shit.
She does it all.
She does it all. This is the first album in over 3 years. Her last one was Visions, which was released back in January 2012. So it's been a while since she's released something.
Hot minute.
I think she's had some features and some singles here and there, but for the most part, she's been basically kind of just doing her own thing.
She's been laughing and not being normal.
God, that's actually one of my favorite tracks on the album.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the better tracks. I totally agree, but
I just like I
just
like the title too. I mean,
Laughing and not being normal.
I think it's just a hot meme for me, you know.
It's Tumblr fan service. This entire album is Tumblr fan service, pretty much.
Or I'm gonna let you guys do your thing.
I love how the cover is basically just like.
I posted
like
something.
She took the Visions cover art and was like, "Yo, like to someone on DeviantArt,
fam.
yo, DeviantArt this."
Just fuck my shit up, fam. Okay, anyways.
say the joke twice, it'll be funnier.
I posted something on r/Indieheads serial jerk. I found it on Tumblr. It was the cover, but it was replaced with like the like a book cover of how to draw manga. That's anyways, okay, so this album is. I mean, we were gonna do an episode on it, but we kind of didn't. We just didn't get around to it.
We were supposed to have a Renee on because she's actually a really big Grimes fan.
Oh yeah, and she has been basically missing from the podcast chat.
Rip. We still haven't got her ballot for end of year.
That's true.
We need to. I'm gonna go.
Wait, we don't have her ballot.
I'm gonna go hunt her down in like Slack chat.
Yeah, I don't think we did get her ballot. I'm sure.
Should probably say in next. I think it's I think next week. Yeah, we're doing. Next week's episode is going to be the Indieheads Podcast Awards. Tomorrow we're doing an episode with Tyler from Vinyl Me Please. But we're doing an interview with him, I think, and then after that we're gonna start off with the Indieheads Podcast Awards, which I'm very excited to do.
I'm gonna be in Washington for that.
Ooh.
So
we're doing 2 parts. We're doing one part. We're doing the awards in 2 parts. We're doing the actual awards and then the album of the year stuff, like our list and whatnot, which we're doing a little differently this year. Anyways, let's get back to this album. It's kind of a conundrum because it's really interesting in the fact that it's not very interesting. Like, it's like it seems like there's all these interesting ideas going on in the production, but they're brought down by just like really conventional structure and just like it's like it has no idea if it wants to be a bubblegum pop album or an art pop album.
Well, yeah. See, my issue was like it's like the way she organizes sounds is incredible and really interesting. So the production was great, but then the sounds she used on this record were like they're all so obnoxious, and she takes like the most obnoxious aspects of her voice and just ramps that shit up.
See, that's the appeal of the music, though. Like, I feel like.
Okay, I think it worked on Visions. It worked very well because the production was very kind of spacey and ethereal and whatnot, and like the more kind of like very like low pitch, high pitch vocals where it's more whispery and whatnot. It completely works.
Yeah. Shout out to Oblivion, by the way. I've been really getting into that song lately. Yeah, it's a good track.
It's the song of this decade so far.
Anyways, but yeah, the system she sounds more confident. You can clearly see her what she's saying, but I don't know. It's just like, I mean, I can't knock her for trying something new, and I can't knock her for like really doing her own like thing, like really.
And you can't really say it's like generic or unoriginal either.
I want to say it's generic, and I want to say it's unoriginal, but it's like I said, it's both like really conventional, but also really interesting and kind of weird at the same time.
Yeah, it kind of presents itself as like nothing new, but there are new things going on. I don't know. It's hard to like explain. Like it's very bubblegum poppy, but then it's also like not like the concepts are,
Well, like for example, Kill versus Maim. The song is about Al Pacino. At least according to her, the song is about Al Pacino from The Godfather 2, except that he's a transgender vampire who can change his gender and travel through space.
BEHADE aggressive.
Remember how I said remember how I said this album is Tumblr fan service? That is Tumblr fan service right there.
See, but no one on Tumblr gives a shit about The Godfather.
I know, but it's so so random. But I like Ugly Mane. It's a good song. It's one of my favorites on the album. But I think we can all agree it's definitely her most successful release.
I hate the screams on Kill V Mane. It's probably my favorite song, but whenever she screams, it's just like...
No, the thing is, like, I don't think the thing about the album is that
you don't know me, Mom! Like, that's how...
I'm split on this album, but for different reasons than y'all are. Because I think that a little bit over half the album is really good. I enjoy the first 6 tracks, and I enjoy the last 3 tracks. But there's a 5-song stretch in the middle that just completely forgettable and uninteresting to me.
Oh yeah, there's definitely songs on this album where it's like there's no songs on this album I would say are like explicitly bad, but there's a lot of like bland and unforgettable, like just forgettable.
See, like for me, everything from Easily through World Princess Part 2 is kind of bland. Reality's okay, but I still don't love that song as much as a lot of people do.
The demo is way better. The demo, god damn.
I don't really have a preference between the two of them, but I just prefer a lot of others. Like California is a song that people even people who praise the album kind of gave that song crap, but I like it.
I just like California.
See, I like that song too,
because it's catchy, but like it has this weird fusion of like there's like these like country elements in there where it's like no, please stop.
Yeah, I don't want Grimes to make a country song.
The thing is, it's a fuck you to Pitchfork, which I think is cool.
They still gave it an 8.5 and gave it the number 3 album of the year.
Yeah. Exactly. See,
wait, how is it a fuck you to Pitchfork though? Explain that.
I think she said in like it was a diss to them in an interview.
I'm gonna look that up really quick. Actually, no, I'm not because I need to talk. No, but the point, like, I don't really get it either. But that's what she's like said is that it's like the thing is, it sounds like it's about California, but it's not.
Yeah.
it's deceptive.
But yeah,
And then Scream, I like that song. I mean, it's
oh yeah,
so
Scream's great.
it's so weird, but like I think like I just love it. Like I said, like I can picture being in some kind of like chase scene or something in like a movie. It's gonna be like next Scooby Doo live action movie.
Like
Or
she
something like
hides
Kill
all
Bill.
these interesting ideas behind a thick screen of like aggressively boring and obnoxious. You know what I mean?
Obnoxious
Uh,
pop music, pretty much.
See,
Yeah.
but you can't say that about Scream.
That would be my complaint about this record, I
See,
guess.
but you can't say that about Scream. Like
Oh no,
Yeah.
definitely not Scream.
there's
Yeah,
no
that trick's great.
normalness of that.
I actually really like Scream. A lot of people
Yeah.
said they
I like
did
Scream
not.
because it's fucking weird and it changes up the norm. It's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? It's like this like Korean rapper and
It
she's
does
like,
feel like it's
Yeah,
in a
they're
weird
talking
place
for-
on the album, being at like track number 3. I don't know. I
I
think
think
it
that was the
like-
second single. Shirley's Flushed Out Blood, and then Shirley's Scream, which was just that was a total curveball. You know, like that's
yeah,
that's
that's
the
a really
single
good
worthy
choice.
track on the album.
because like I think California's the most traditional song on the album, like the most conventional. Like if Laughing Not Be Normal is like a really interesting intro. It's like, oh, this is kind of nice. Like, I like her vocals, and it's like,
Which is just weird. That's a weird song.
well, Laughing Not Being Normal.
It's a bizarre intro to an album.
Yeah, but it works. It works just
Yeah,
fine.
exactly. That's what I was saying. Like it's intro. But I think I like California too. Then it's like kind of just goes back and forth between normal and not normal. I like that. How you get Laughing Not Being Normal, very weird. Get California, just like a very peppy pop song. Then you get Scream, which is what the fuck. I like that.
I think that made me like excited for the rest of the album. It's like, what the fuck is happening with this album? Like, this album is gonna be fucking really interesting. Like, I listened to those 3 tracks. I think I remember whenever I first listened to it, and I was like in the Skype chat, and I was just like, yeah, this is gonna be the most interesting first listen of the year, probably. And it really wasn't, honestly, because once you get past Scream, it gets kind of uninteresting.
See, I mean, I like Flesh Without Blood. That's a great song, I think.
I didn't care for that. I mean, it's not a bad song, but I just didn't really care for
it's
it.
a good song. Then Belly of the Beat is actually just okay. But then,
I
then
like
Kills.
Belly of the Beast. I thought it was
Blood
nice.
goes
I mean, I like okay. Like when the acoustic guitars come in, it's pretty good.
I see. I don't like the presence of guitars on this record.
See,
Like
I
most
like
of
it
them.
then-
I like it in Life, Flesh Without Blood. Actually,
Yeah. Like I was listening to the song earlier. I'm
Yeah.
like, I want to do an acoustic white boy cover of this. Like,
But
I'm actually gonna do
everywhere
that.
else
When
on
you're
the
done, Alex, I want to say something about that because it definitely brings up a good point with the
you
guitar
can't
and whatnot.
actually.
Why is it here?
If I do an acoustic white boy cover of Flesh Without Blood, can we post it on the podcast
No,
channel?
God, no, stop. Don't. Well, maybe. I don't know. Anyways,
It's-
I do want to talk about the guitar in this album because I think there are parallels with Kid Cudi's album with the guitar on this album.
Oh
Where
gosh,
It's not as bad as Kid Cudi because at least Grimes is a lot more musically talented than Kid
Yeah.
Cudi. She's way more musically talented than Kid Cudi. I guess the issue is just sort of like it just feels kind of like I don't know. She's not really doing anything interesting with it. It's like, okay, cool, it's here, but like it's not badly played. In fact, there are still like, oh, she actually is like there's actually chord progressions and whatnot, but like it's too pop rocky. Is that's my issue? Where it's just like.
Yeah.
It just feels too pop rocky. It's like I'm not the biggest fan of pop rock, so it's like
I didn't mind the guitars personally.
I think they work in some tracks, like they work on Scream, like the intro
Yeah.
of Scream where it's like din 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 din.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like it
Then-
works on there.
No, did you guys watch the documentary for like it made like a 6-minute documentary?
The Fader one?
No.
Yeah, I did. I
Yeah.
watched it.
Yeah, did you see the Korean rapper? Like she's interviewing her.
Oh yeah.
I like that. She's like a school teacher. They're like, "Do your kids know that you rap?" She's like, "No." Like she's really like shy and timid, the rapper. She's like adorable like that. And it's like, oh.
But yeah.
Anyways, back to the album.
Anyways, yeah, because like I think you were saying the first 6 tracks are really interesting because you do have Laughing and Not Being Normal. It's like, oh, this is a cool intro, kind of weird, but like it's nice. And then California, it's like, oh, what the fuck, what? I mean, it's a curveball in the fact that it's like really poppy.
I mean, I like the song,
Yeah.
so whatever.
And then you have Scream, which is
guys.
like, what the fuck? The fuck? This is
Yeah.
cool. I kind of want to hear more stuff like this, honestly. And then you have Flesh Out Blood, which is like, it's a power pop anthem, pretty much. It's like,
Flesh
Yeah.
Without Blood is a banger.
I
Yeah,
don't
it's
care
a
for
sort
it,
of-
but
in fact, I'm even gonna get the official podcast banger bump.
no.
An official.
The official
That's not-
I
it
think
has to go through
if
me. And it
any
doesn't go
song
through
on
me.
this album gets the official podcast banger bump, it would probably be Kill Me Mane.
No. It's
Venus
Venus Fly.
Fly.
No, Venus
Yeah,
Fly.
no,
It's
that-
I
It's
didn't
the
like
approval.
Venus Fly. I really
Okay,
didn't
we can all
like
come
that
with
song.
okay. We have a consensus on Kill V Mame.
Okay, then we'll kill you, Mammoth, because we all like that song.
Certified banger. Okay, this for your kids.
But yeah,
track,
and then
track of the week. We stopped doing that.
we stopped doing that because we kept getting hit with copyright stuff, and we're like, okay, I don't want to deal with that.
Really?
Yeah,
No,
we kept
we
getting
don't
hit with
play the
copyright
song.
stuff,
Like
Oh.
and I can't
I
remember.
didn't
I
actually
don't want to
think
give
that
this.
would happen, but I'm not surprised that it did.
For the most part, it was just like just as long as you said it was third party. But there were some times where like we'd have stuff banned in different countries, and it's like in a bunch of countries, it's like okay. I think
Yeah.
we had one for whenever we had "Same from This Exist" on, where it just got blocked in Germany, and I was like, okay, I don't really like. It's not necessary anymore. I just
Yeah.
don't feel like downloading these songs. It's just like, whatever.
well, I just want to say, like, I mean, not playing it, but it's like we're gonna say that the official song of the week is "Kill V Mame."
Sure, okay, but I'm not gonna put it in.
Play that for your kids.
Maddie
I don't
sounds so
have the album on.
defeated.
I
Some
have
for
it
the
on
kids to
Spotify.
think, some for them to.
Okay, anyways, and then the stretch from Art Angels to Pen is completely forgettable. I don't
Yeah, I
remember
agree.
how any of those songs go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, if you played for me, I'd be like, oh yeah, right on. But then, yeah, but right now, that's my biggest flaw with the album, because up to that point, I have no major complaints. No major complaints.
Yeah, the middle is not very good, and that's the one
Yeah,
where it's like, okay,
that's
this
what
is
you
your
said
time
earlier
to
on the
really
podcast,
shine,
that-
and you fucked up.
That's what you said earlier on, is that how the middle is the most important part.
Mm-hmm.
Getting a good album, and that's where the part where she faltered the most, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's something else is that, like, I saw something Grimes said, like, easily it's her least favorite track on the album. Like, she
Wait.
said that.
What?
Oh,
Pen?
she said that "Kill V Mame" is her favorite track.
Oh, it's her
and
favorite
that
track,
easily
okay.
is her least favorite track.
Wait, what's her least favorite track?
Easily.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You didn't remember
I
that
don't know
track
why
existed.
she included it.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Because
Yeah.
I definitely agree that one was forgettable.
Anyway, and then reality is like the demo is so much better, and it's just because the demo is more raw. And it's like, I mean, because it's literally raw, because it's like it's barely mixed and mastered. It's not even mixed and mastered. It's just like,
It's just like, hey, listen to this thing I did.
but the reality, she sort of just strips it down and makes it more conventional. It's like, oh, okay. I mean, it's still. I mean, it still has enough of the original song where it's kind of decent, but it's still just like, oh. And then World Princess Part 2 is forgettable. I don't remember how that song goes at all. Venus Fly, though, that's a banger.
That's a
banger.
Kitty, cat, kitty.
Also,
kitty,
I put
cat.
75% of the reason why that song is so good is because of Janelle Monáe.
That's not true. I mean, it's
I
good.
think maybe part of the reason why I don't like that song is because it's towards the end of the record, and this is an exhausting album to listen to.
It's really not that bad.
Well, like, I'm not sure if I don't think I hate the record. Like, there are some songs that I really do enjoy, as I said, but it's really hard for me to listen to in full. Just, I don't know, it's just draining.
I definitely agree with. I can definitely see that. I definitely see that, and I definitely kind of agree. I don't think it's as draining as it was. I mean, I think if anything, there's like something like Church's album was a lot more draining on me than this album. At least there's like good songs, and at least there's like more. At least the good songs on here are actually like really interesting.
They stand out.
Well, Church's is just like the good songs are good, but it's like
The first two tracks on the Church's album are the only, like, ones I would want to listen to.
Also,
Like,
that
I would
album
go
is
out of my
so-
way to listen to.
But the song, it's not I can't say it's mediocre. Well, I kind of want to say it's mediocre, but at the same time, though, I really can't.
Yeah, it's just, it so doesn't fit that, whether it's good or bad. It's like,
Well,
it's just
also-
not mediocre.
One more track I want to talk about is "Butterfly." I like that song.
I didn't like the outro of this album either. It has I kind of dug Life in the Vivid Dream because it's short, and it's like, okay, it happened, it's here, and then Butterfly's just like, oh, okay. Like over the summer, it's a very, as I already said in my my tagline is that it's really interesting in the fact that a lot of it is kind of uninteresting. Because as Alex was explaining, it's like she has all these really interesting ideas going on in the production, but she just boggles it down with like all these like conventional pop standards, and it's like, why? Like I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's frustrating because I listen to Visions and it's like, wow, she's really good and she's like a really good musician and she's a great producer, but like,
I think this album sounds better though. Like just the quality of sound and everything.
I mean,
here.
yeah, because it's not produced in fucking GarageBand.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, she's like, I'm probably that, but she definitely has improved her craft. Like she's.
I mean, yeah. I mean, she's definitely trying to like. I think like, her next album she does. I think this album was definitely sort of like a test, I guess, because I think like if she like fixes some of the ideals of the next album and kind of makes things basically if she gets a little weird on the next album, I think I would really like it because there's so much potential going on. There's like it's so close to being good, but it's like it doesn't like most of these tracks just don't quite get there, and it's like, oh, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
It's like I appreciate it for doing something new. I appreciate it for kind of like mixing like this sort of weird stuff with conventional. I don't think she did it very well, but I appreciate the effort because she definitely put a lot of effort into making this album. Obviously,
Yeah, definitely. It's really
Naturally.
like it's layered, you know. And it's like yeah.
I mean, I
I
didn't
don't know
mention
how to fully express my thought, but
I
what
didn't
were you
mention
saying?
this, but I think a big problem I do have with this album is kind of the vocals in some ways. The vocals are just sometimes a little too like. I think this album is. I don't know where I heard it from, but I heard it's basically just sort of like, what if K-pop was English?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've said that. I mean, it's an American K-pop album,
Yeah, and that is
but it
like,
is.
it's like okay, then that is sort of like okay, oh my god, because some of these vocals are just like. Sometimes I work, and other times it's like, oh my god, it's like it's so annoying because it's just like it works on Visions because she has that hazy production and she's kind of speaking in whispers and whatnot, and it's like
Yeah.
it works. I don't know how to explain it, but it works. And this song just doesn't work as well. And I don't want to go back to do another like do Visions too,
Yeah.
but I think for the next time, I think her
Uh,
problem, which again, I was gonna bring this up, and hey, Tumblr, come at me. I think this really benefited if she definitely had been collaborating with other people and not doing everything herself, because she has a lot of interesting ideas. I just don't think that doing it all herself was the best way of going about it. I definitely think she could have definitely bounced off ideas
I
off
agree
other
with.
people
I'll agree with you on that.
and really fleshed out her ideas.
yeah.
Which it's like some great music comes from collaboration, and sometimes doing everything on your own is not a good idea.
I wouldn't say fleshed out our ideas. Like these ideas are fleshed out, but they're fleshed out in the wrong way,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
I think it's definitely. I think just quality control, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then like, and in her fan review, she definitely seemed offended that people like wanted to work with her, and it's like, I'd love to do
Yeah,
stuff with her. I'm like, people want to like they like your music and they want to do music with you.
yeah.
They're not
I
trying
think
to
it's like
insult you saying like, oh, you can't do music by yourself. It's like they don't. They just want to try to do something with you. Like
Yeah.
it's sort of like just kind of taking too much offense at it.
yeah. No, I agree with that because I mean she's very it's kind of feminist. No, she is very feminist, and she thinks like she wants to prove to women that she can do that. Women can do everything they can. I can do everything. I'm an independent
Which again,
white Canadian
that's
would.
appreciated, obviously, and I think it's like really
Yeah,
cool
but
that
things
she's
about things
doing that. But
I want to think any less. I mean,
I
she's proved
guess
it.
I think most artists benefit from collaboration.
I think she's just sacrificing her musical quality just to make a statement, and it's like, okay, like just it's not bad to work with other people. Like I just
Yeah.
like, ugh.
Well, she worked with Aristophanes and Janelle Monáe, so
They didn't really they didn't produce or anything.
Yeah.
I'm talking like people help them produce and write.
um,
That's what I'm
you
saying.
think Janelle Monáe didn't write that kitty?
No, she wrote. I mean, obviously, Joanna wrote her stuff, but I'm just saying that like she definitely could have like rhymes like throughout most of the album. She is doing everything herself,
Right.
and it's like that is cool. That is appreciated. It doesn't exactly translate to good music, and I think there are people she could like. It's the same thing with Kid Cudi, where it's like where Kid Cudi's album is actually mostly uninteresting and boring, but it's just sort of like you could have had other people who know like you could have gotten someone who actually knows how to play guitar. You could have kind of had someone because it's just it is frustrating to talk about because it's like I'm basically walking on eggshells right now because I'm not trying to say she can't make music by herself because she does make because this music it's competent
Yeah.
it's competent it sounds fine it's just like it just doesn't really work with my taste and I think like there are enough interesting ideas going on that like could have been fleshed out better and if she had the help of other people I think those ideas could have been fleshed out better but I also appreciate she made the album she wanted to make,
Yeah.
and it's not bad. It's not a
And
bad
that's
album.
kind of what I meant by what I said at the beginning, that the only thing I could say with confidence was, that she's probably called someone a normie before. Just because like there is so much here, like there on this record. But it's hard to like make criticisms because because there is so much there, but it just doesn't come together in the right way, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. Is there anything like final things we want to say? Will, do you want to say anything final about this
I mean,
album?
Oh, should we do
I
a
mean-
head rating?
Oh yeah, we didn't do head ratings at all.
Yeah.
You guys do your divers head ratings.
I forgot what my head rating for that
My divers head rating is that it goes right over my fucking head. That's my head rating.
Mine is that it goes right inside my fucking head and sounds really good.
Alex, you remember yours?
Don't know, guys.
Don't know.
Yeah, I know. These head ratings are kind of played. They kind of played out, you know.
Yeah, it's a difficult rating system.
I mean, things like your church's rating though. That was
yeah.
right
At this
there.
point, we don't need to.
Okay,
That
anyways,
was the mic drop.
So my Art Angels head rating is go to Google Images and type in confused stock photo, and any of those photos, that's pretty much me.
Mine is just mine's a lazy one, but an apt one is the album art. You know.
Mine is just the cover, but the head is saying why.
What is she saying? Wait, what is she saying on the cover? She's not saying anything. It's just like she's got like 3 eyes, and she's got like a weird ponytail. She's like a weird alien.
Just some K-pop stuff going on, you know.
No,
But
It
but,
really
but,
is
but in all
the
seriousness,
most deviant art album cover I've ever seen by far. Like, unquestionably.
I'm gonna go with
I've
Tumblrcore.
spent a decent amount of time on DeviantArt, and if there was ever a piece that embodied that website,
Implying
then
it's
it
not
would be
Pablo
this.
Honey. No, but I do want to end this review on a positive note. I think that there's a lot of good stuff going on here. For me, this would definitely be on my year-end list somewhere if it weren't for the middle.
Mm-hmm.
If it weren't for the middle, this album got a lot of certified bangers. The good sings.
Yeah.
Good sings.
So yeah, that's about it for this week's podcast. Well, not really this week because we're gonna be back tomorrow to interview Tyler from Vinyl Me Please. I'm very excited about the interview. Hopefully you guys are too. And yeah, but see you guys tomorrow or later. I don't know. Bye.
Bye.